Why do Slavic folktales contain so many figures who seem to move between worlds? Healers, seers, wise wanderers, even though official history insists the Slavs had no shamans. And why do these characters always appear in the stories that deal with cattle, water, illness, or the realm of the dead? Because early Slavic religion had ritual specialists, even if we don't use the word shaman for them. The Slavs had volkvi, recorded in medieval East Slavic chronicles as diviners, ritual leaders, and interpreters of signs. They had znachari, folk healers who worked with herbs, chants, and protective charms. They had veduni and vedunove, seers who understood dreams or sensed misfortune before it arrived. These people didn't form a formal priesthood in later centuries, but they carried knowledge that communities depended on. Here's what most people don't know. Many of the rituals these specialists performed align with the domains associated with Veles, cattle protection, communication with the dead, divination, and interactions with water or underground forces. This doesn't mean they were consciously calling Veles after Christianization. The term is modern scholarly shorthand. But the functions overlap clearly with what earlier Slavic religion attributed to him. Ethnographers note that blessings for cattle, whispered protective prayers, and rituals performed near springs or rivers preserved layers of older belief. Forest edges, crossroads, and water sources were seen as liminal places, not because of a codified cosmology, but because they were understood as thresholds where danger and the unseen were stronger. Over time, these ritual roles blended into folklore. The volk-fi becomes the wise old man. The vedunya becomes the village witch healer. The cattle guardian becomes the shepherd seer. These characters are not inventions. They're the cultural memory of real specialists whose knowledge once shaped community life. So when Slavic stories describe someone who can sense danger, interpret dreams, or speak to the unseen, they're echoing a much older pattern. A world where ritual specialists stood at the thin line between the living and the ancestral, performing the quiet work of keeping their villages in balance.